Welcome to night school where the shadows creep. Grab your popcorn, don't fall asleep. The doors are open, let the nightmares play. You won't make it out today. Welcome to night school! She grins in the dark with your secrets in tow. Creed paints your smile with the shame you won't show. He slashes with style, blood drips by the door. Glorious God! This is what legends are for. With the click of his pen and a therapist's sneer, he lists all your sins you didn't know were near. Smoke curls like truth in a midnight hymn. La sección is still smoking man. Pecados que no se extinguen sin fin. Are you scared yet?
I am terrified. I am terrified to my very core. And I'll tell you why, audience at home. It's because I am seeing this franchise drift into a really worrying place, really troubling place. And I am not going to be the prophet that says, like, I said so, as the entire nation is burning. But I did tell you so. And you know who else told you so? Your favorite movie therapist. Mr. So Smooth, Tommy James.
Big Money, I would say our last two episodes on this show we were scared. Okay? We were scared. We were more scared than I was when I went to Halloween Horror Nights last night on the 31st. We were so scared. Unfortunately, we had a reason to be, and it seems like it's going that route. But then again, it's like you know what, they're playing with us right now. They're playing with us. They're like giving us something that you're like, oh, that looks kind of good. And then they're kind of giving this other thing on the side, and you're like, we said we don't want to go this route, and you're giving me this. Can I go back I want to go to the other side. Bring me more Timothy Olyphant. I just stick with him. The whole show should just be Timothy Olyphant, and that's it. And Murrow. I like Murrow, too.
Yeah. Timothy Olyphant hunting Murrow.
Yes!
That would be it.
What a phenomenal fucking show that would be with those two doing it.
But, for the audience at home who doesn't know, this is Big Money Eddie, the Grand Wizard of Horror, the cigarette-smoking man, with Mr. James, Mr. Oh So Smooth, Mr. Baby, Mr. Therapist, Mr. What else?
Oh, dude, I got all the names, and I always put the names on the list too. But of course, as they know, Tommy James, Mr. Oh So Smooth, Smooth like himself, movie guy baby, and everybody knows that your favorite movie therapist. Yeah, man, I am so excited to continue on this show.
This roller coaster, I'm telling you, it's a roller coaster. And as I was telling the audience at home in the previous episodes, like, we were watching this drift into a way that we didn't like. And to recapture what we've said in the previous episodes, watch the previous episodes that we've done on this show.
Yeah.
But just so for the people, if you for some reason found us today for the very first time, welcome to Night School Horror. And what we're talking about the show is that we have seen a pattern, a dangerous pattern, is that it's making a lot of homages to the previous Alien movies, and it's drifting between the horror of the original Alien, the action of Aliens, and the philosophical brouhaha of Prometheus. Mm-hmm. But we started to notice something creeping in slowly, like a xenomorph hugging you and putting its little baby in your little tum-tum.
It's adorable.
It's adorable.
It's very adorable.
But it comes out very nasty and bloody and
disgusting.
It's
glorious.
But this baby, it's scary. It's actually scary because there's a little alien that's called Resurrection that has slowly creeped in, and it's hugging this show, and it's probably going to have a baby with it. Mr. Oso Smooth, what are your thoughts on our predictions regarding that specific?
Dude, why are we spot on here? I mean, that makes sense why we're spot on, because we are Alien fans. We love the franchise itself, even though most, maybe 3 movies, or like we mentioned, 3.5, you want to count Romulus, is on par, and then it just slips into demise and shit. But why are we paying this why are we writing this love letter to resurrection out of all the shit? You could have fucking did it for Alien versus Predator, and I would have been okay with it. I would have been like, oh, okay, let's see where this is going to go. But no, we're getting to the point of, oh, man, with babies and communicating between them, which honestly is kind of an interesting little like tidbit that they were doing there, but not to the point like she's mother. I don't want mother. Okay, I go to Psycho for that. I don't need mother in my Alien. And I don't know if you know this, though. I was doing some research and I read an article that they're actually trying to drift away from like Prometheus and Covenant, which I think is a bad choice, because even though I'm not a fan of that whole fucking those movies, but it's lore, and lore is important.
And they set it up, they set it up nicely, I think. Yeah, I agree.
They set it up nicely, and I feel like that's when you're making a television show, that's perfect, because you need more information to be able to span it out into the 10 episodes or 8 episodes that they're going to be coming out with. So to try to eliminate that and start playing a little different way is going to start screwing shit up, because Romulus stuck to that lore. So why are we, just because we're on a different time period or timetable in a sense, that we're just going to start playing a little too more? Well, that doesn't really play a factor now. And then this Ashley, the xenomorph, might be a rogue alien now, they're saying. So
yeah.
Because nobody knows what really happened. Like, what did she give Wendy that's why she had the thing on her head where she got hit in the head? I don't know. And we're going to obviously eventually find out probably what happened when that door closed. But in my sense, I think the beginning of the show, and this, if they go back and listen to the first episode, which was episode 1, episode 2, we mentioned that it's going to eventually get to the point of what happened on the ship with Morrow. Now I don't know if that's the case.
Which is why, remember that I said, I don't know.
Right.
I don't
know. Maybe those little clips were just the little flashy clips flashy clips, which I feel is a mistake, because that's Alien. But you're right. You hit spot on when it comes to the Peter Pan, like calling the shit out on these characters and nailing that. And then again, mentioning this alien resurrection, and yeah, it looks like where we're going.
I'm just concerned. And as we keep going, I want to emphasize the Peter Pan stuff a little bit later, because I think it's too on the nose now. Now, at the beginning, it was fine. Now it's getting to the point where it's silly. It's not even. We're
not reading between the lines anymore.
Now it's like you're telling us what these metaphors are. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But I did want to talk about the alien stuff first, because it's not that much in this episode. So I think we can just get through it.
Yeah.
What did you... So one of the things that had me concerned was at the beginning where thankfully they didn't do a long comatose or anything like that. I went like, oh my God, thank God. There are some things about this show that are smart. They like set you up to think like they're going to go through one route. Like when she gets into comatose, any other show would have done like one episode inside her brain, trying to figure out her life and things like that.
Yes.
And those are horrible episodes. I'm sorry. If whoever likes it, there are few exceptions. One of the few exceptions, actually, is in Power Rangers, when Tommy actually gets into his brain and he fights the Red Ranger, the Green Ranger, and White Ranger.
Yes.
Just saying, that was actually a great episode. But that rarely happens. Right?
Yes, very true.
So she wakes up. Everything is looking normal, but we find out that she can communicate with the aliens, which we had mentioned in the previous show, that I think they're communicating some frequency or whatnot, and that's exactly what happened.
Yes.
And she can pick it up, which makes sense. It's not like I'm not complaining about that. It makes sense. She's a robot. Like she can.
But she's the only one that can.
That's the thing that's what bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
That precisely is what bothered me. And she's special because she's the first, but now she can do things that the other ones can't. Like what exactly are you doing with these robots? Like, what is it? I don't know. It's getting to the point where I'm getting a little bit confused on what is the goal for these robots, because if they're all the same and she's special because she's the first, why is she doing more things than the other ones? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I did like though when she spoke in Alien though, and she just.
I did like that.
What did you think about that?
I honestly liked it, and I will tell you this: I actually like that they mention that the way they communicate is in a certain high frequency that the human ear can't hear, which actually now starts to put the pieces to the puzzle together in all these other movies where they're able to communicate. You know, where like they're able to make these like surprise attacks and whatnot. And because the xenomorph, as we've witnessed in many, many different movies that they're in, they're not exactly stupid. You know,
No.
they are highly intelligent in a sense of like attack. You know, they're creatures, they're animals, but they're not stupid. And this actually explains why they're not stupid, because they could actually communicate. We're talking from not just the xenomorph, but the face hugger itself too.
Yeah.
And I actually really like that. I like that we were able to establish that, because in Aliens, when they start doing the mass attack, now it's not just, oh, they're just around. Like, no, this is planned. They were literally
like,
talking.
Yeah, when the queen just looks at the other two xenomorphs and goes like, she's probably saying, back off.
Yeah.
Back off, because she's going to kill the babies, and we don't want... Your sisters are gonna die, you idiot! Like,
back off, stupid. These are the babies, and they're gonna kill the babies. I actually love that, but I like the fact that she was able to actually do the frequency. And the main reason that I really like that too, and there's two things I wanted to say on it. Number one, because if you notice when she started doing it, everybody in the room started getting freaked out.
Yes,
like, and especially her brother. Because it was at that moment, and this is one thing that I mentioned from the beginning, he almost realized that's not my sister. And then he starts to question it because he mentions it. Like, how did you take the conscience and just stick it into a body? Like, my biggest thing was, what are they doing? Are they taking the soul and sticking it in the body? Like, or is it just, you're just like putting a fucking hard drive in in a robot's head and they have memories? And they think that's who they are, but that kid is actually dead. So that raised the question. And I like questions like that. That made me start thinking, because I love that everyone, including fucking the Prodigy kid, the fucking, you know, the golden boy.
Boy Cavalier.
But yeah, Boy Cavalier, Peter Pan. Like, even he's like, huh? Like, but that's really weird. Like, how did she do this? And even Timothy Olyphant, he's a legitimate cyborg, and he's even like, that's different. Like, and I'm excited more for his character too. But one thing, my second thing I wanted to mention though, isn't it kind of funny that the way they sound is the same as the alien in Independence Day?
Yeah.
That's the same sound. That's the same frequency, because it started playing it when she was hearing it, and they just start playing with it a little more, and they raise it and whatnot, and she's hearing it. And then, which, by the way, I thought was dope when you can see like the shadowy, like, you know, of the face hugger kind of moving, like in her ear. Like, it was really weird. But I started listening, and I'm like, that sounds really familiar. And then when it does it again, I was like, that's the same sound that the aliens from Independence Day make. And as we know, coming up in Predator, Badlands, it's connected.
Yes. Mm-hmm. One of the funny things is that as I was looking at this, like, my one opinion about this, like, I agree with what you said. I accept the part, not that I don't agree. It's just that I didn't think of the Independence Day, like, as you're mentioning it right now, brilliant catch. I didn't catch
Starting to hear it, right?
Yeah, now I started hearing it. I go,
with Brett Spiner.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm expecting Brett Spiner now to just show up and go like, oh, that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
But one of the things that I also thought when I was listening to it was the raw terror that the xenomorph makes, even on a sound level.
Yes.
Like, you see it and you go like, that's insane. Now you're listening to it and you go like, they're scared. legitimately, like everything this creature produces
Yes.
is fear.
Straight
Like
fear.
straight fear. It's I think that part is working. Like if you were to say the like I mentioned, I don't like that it's only her.
Hmm.
I would love that the other hybrids would also be able to listen to the frequency and play off of that because you just are going to have a better. I think you're going to have a better time because this whole idea that she's special in a certain way just like ruins it for me. It feels more fantasy,
Okay.
entering into a fantasy like chosen one sort of Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker sort of scenario
Hmm.
rather than a sci-fi, more hard sci-fi, Star Trek-y, alien type of thing, which is what they should lean on. They shouldn't be leaning a lot on the fantasy part because it
Sure.
feels like a chosen one like trope. It's not fun.
Yes, I agree with you.
But I like the fact that she can communicate. I like the fact that there's a different level of experimentation going on that couldn't happen in the Nostromo. So it's like she's getting in, we're talking with them, like, okay, we can understand what they're saying. And as that is going on, and now we're going to hit something else in the story, as that is going on, we see Slightly and Morrow develop a relationship that is, I'll be honest, I like Morrow,
Yes.
but I cannot stand Slightly.
I don't like Slightly either.
I can't. It's not. I'm not. I'm not a fan. Like, what did you think of that whole arc between Slightly and Morrow?
So I think because of Morrow, he really just, I mean, the guy that's playing him is acting his ass off and he's nailing it. He's nailing it because, he is indeed an antagonist. But there's like that other side where you're like, he's just doing his job, but he does it very ruthlessly. And I love those kind of characters that are like for example, in Fallout, the ghoul, where they're human, and not as they used to be more human. They're still somewhat human, but it's like by any means necessary. And he has a goal, and his goal is to get that fucking xenomorph or get an egg. At least at this point, all he cares about is the eggs. So he's able to get on the level knowing that he's talking to a child. So he's not an idiot. He knows how to play this off because he was at least a father. And I love the way that he's able to kind of manipulate him. Like that whole my real name is this. What's your real name? We're not supposed to say. What is your real name? Like I told, hey, listen, if I'm going to trust you, I told you mine so you could trust me. Very easy to manipulate a child that way.
Yeah.
And when he finally says Harush or whatever it was, and then the way he just goes, but the way they filmed it is great because his face changes. He's getting somewhere, and he's like, all right, I got one. All right, Harush, what? And then he does the sing, but the way he does, and then he plays it like a kid. That whole Harush, what? Like, it was genius way to play. And he goes, no, that is my last name.
Yeah, he sells it like so innocently.
Like you're talking to a child because you got to get that information. You got to be able to pull it out. And when he gets that information, you think he was just doing it just to get a trust out of him. No. He was doing it because he's going to get what he wants by any means necessary. And that next scene, when he's with his mom, you're like, oh. And you see his hand glow because shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you don't do it, I'm just letting you know right now. Like,
say bye to mama.
Yeah, say bye to mom. And I think your brothers are coming to want to do this. Like, oh, yeah. And then he gives her that opportunity to speak so he can hear his mom, but he cannot communicate back to his mom.
Yeah.
It's pure villainy. Like, it's pure just evil. But again, it's by any means necessary. And then he's able to explain you know what? I don't even need the egg. Just put somebody next to it. It's going to get weird. Like, I love the way he explains, because just like a child, it's going to get weird. But after it happens, something's going to happen after that. It's okay. You'll be fine. Just put them away for like a day or two. Just do me the favor. I'll be there. Don't worry about it. But I love the interaction. I just don't like that the character of Haruj is very
slightly, yeah.
slightly. I feel like you do need that. You need that one character that's how Morrow's going to be able to be involved anyway.
Yeah.
But I think the kid's just too much of a fool. I get he's a kid. But I prefer his interaction with Timothy Olyphant, to be honest with you, because Timothy Olyphant was like, I'm gonna let you know right now, you're fucked.
Yep. And I love that Timothy Olyphant, because you're going like, oh no, Morrow's like, because every episode they're one-upping each other, even though they only met like that one little time. But every time you think Morrow's going like, oh, he's gonna get him, Timothy Olyphant's just like, he's just already inside, and he knows that you planted something. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening into your conversations. I really want to know what you are doing.
That's right.
And your prediction of the yet, what he implies to Boy Cavalier, I think it's heading in that direction, because Boy Cavalier is just insulting everybody. Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? You conceited bastard. Like, I hate when they write genius characters like that. Like, they're like, oh, they don't know. Look, there's a lot of geniuses out there that you interact with and you never know. What? Yes, you interact with a lot of geniuses and a lot of super smart people, and they act normal. You would only know if you saw their IQ.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, but why aren't they millionaires? Because they're geniuses in very particular things. Like, there are geniuses that make billions, great, but most of the geniuses are, oh, I'm a genius in history. I'm a genius in great. You're a genius. Yeah, exactly. It's like, there are some people who are great at just talking. They're geniuses at talking. Those pitch salesmen, some of them have a gift of gab that can be described as, interpersonal and intrapersonal genius.
Oh yeah.
So they know. So I just hate the fact that we do the stereotypical genius businessman with a cold heart, because again, I'm seeing where the show is going. That's the issue. Like, it's not. I don't mind stereotypes. You can do stereotypes all you want, because stereotypes are it's a shortcut so you can understand a point, right?
Yes.
But the problem is, if the point has been done a billion times, you're not saying anything new. An Alien, like, for example, I think Romulus did the evil corporation story better than Alien Earth so far, in my opinion.
Yes, that's a good take, and I would have to agree with you on that one, especially because we utilize the I always forget the fucking kid's name, the black kid in Romulus, who was David Johnson. I know his name is David Johnson, but he was phenomenal in it. But like when they do that whole concept with the chip, and they put the chip in him, and like the whole motive changes, the Weyland-Yutani thing pops up, and his whole everything changes, and all he cares about is, well, we need to make sure that makes it to where it needs to go. I don't care about you, or you. It doesn't matter. And I like that. I agree with you. They did it much better.
They did it much better, and you see the plight of the poor people. They're beat up and everything like that. They want to escape. Like, it just works better. Like, and you know why it works better? Because it's not pretentious about it. It's not trying to be like, look at how smart we are as we make this commentary about life. You don't need to do that. The commentary is there in Romulus without them going like, look, poor people suffer because of corporations. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there, but they don't mellow in that story. They just go, okay, yeah, we're all suffering. We want to escape. We made a mistake. Aliens are here. And move on. And you made the point without having to do all that. So I just feel like the show needs to move on.
Yeah, I do like when it comes to the corporation side of things, that they made it clear, and this kind of like fucks over Romulus and, if I'm not mistaken, Alien 3, that the government is no more. There's no more government.
There's no more government.
It's just 5 corporations.
Yep.
The 5, as they call them. And that I found to be interesting. And I think that's more of just them trying to hint at something. There's always those little play on words. And this one, they're painting the picture of saying, like, this is probably where we're going with the person that's currently running the country because he's a businessman. And I just feel that that's where it's going. But I like that, the fact that it is, because the way they said it, like Joe says it, we used to vote for somebody, but that didn't work. And I feel that was just a Trump reference. I'm just saying. And you know, Hollywood hates Trump. So I just feel that was a little reference. Yeah. And that's when they decided it's going to be based on 5 corporations. Yeah. And they pretty much, you know, broke the world down based on the 5 corporations, which is also very interesting because that also plays a factor in, I've heard this in different fucking, I don't know if it was a book that I read one time. This was a long time ago, but like how everything was separated based on that, like colonies or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, we're talking about when the French Empire, the empires came into America.
No, like no, it was more fiction. Like
my bad.
Yeah, that's more like history. No, I meant like what's it called? Like the Hunger Games.
Yeah,
kind of like the Hunger Games is broken up by like all that, or even like Fallout, how it's broken into the vaults and so on and so forth, like different communities. But this is ran by corporation.
Yeah, and something they mentioned, and I don't know if you caught it. They mentioned a war.
He mentioned the war. He did mention a war. He said I was on the other side of the earth in war, but I didn't explain the war.
Exactly. And I was like, those are the things that I latch onto. And I go like, ooh, tell me more about that.
Yes.
Don't tell me about your philosophical ponderings about life. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either, Joe.
It's like, but you know, as we move on, I just wanted to say that going back to slightly, because I just want to just like do a little tangent. Going back to slightly. I don't think that the actor pulls off what needs to be pulled off for slightly, because when we get to that scene actually with Joe, and he says, "What is he doing here?" and it's like, dude, he saw an alien. Like, why can't my mommy and daddy be here and my brothers? And you go like, no, my guy, listen. He saw an alien.
Yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together. You're a kid, but you're a kid with a hardwired brain.
That's right.
Which I'm gonna talk about. Because I actually think that when you asked me the question in episode 1, I think I actually answered the question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you have this CPU in your brain. You can put 2 to 2 together. He saw confidential information. He cannot leave.
He cannot leave, and they also put a confidential piece of equipment in him. And made it very clear, like, hey, man, if you want to go, that's fine, but we're going to bill you. The thing is he's never going to get billed because he ain't getting off that fucking island.
Oh, no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. That's a given. It's a thing. So, you know, as I was talking, Tommy, about, you know, that you asked me in previous episodes where these hybrids actually, their soul was transplanted. Yes. Or not. This episode answers the question. So what did you think of the episode's answer to that?
Well, so what you're saying in a sense that they're really just a computer.
Yeah, they're not human.
They're not human. Yeah, they're not human. It's pretty much in a sense of just taking memories, putting a chip in something, and it thinks it's human. It thinks it has a soul, but it doesn't have a soul. And I think that's I like that answer because it means more than if the concept of just moving a soul or, you know, whatnot. And the main reason, not main reason, but that main situation where Joe was talking to I forgot the guy's name, but the bald-headed dude. I think he's supposed to be Smee, if I'm not mistaken. I think I don't remember 1,000%, but it's the bald-headed guy, the one that works for the Peter Pan kid.
Yeah, like the number 2 guy, basically.
Yeah, number 2. when he's talking to him about it, and he says, the difference between them is pretty much mad money and being able to, create something that no one has ever done, or pretty much trash.
Yep.
And he's like, it's just garbage afterwards. And this is how we find out. And right there, he's already saying to Joe, yeah, no. They're not humans. That's not your sister. She just thinks she's your sister because we put a chip in her and she has memories of you. She was able to draw you. But if you notice, when she drew herself, she drew her back. She did not draw her face. So very interesting. She does not know what she looks like.
Exactly. And very important thing, the good catch, because I didn't catch that. But now that you said it, I was like, oh, true. One thing that I also would mention to people is like, because somebody might say like, oh no, it was set to the brother in order to just convince him that he shouldn't be. No. Mm-mm. In the episode, there were like 5 scenes that confirmed that they are not human. They are fully just like that's an AI with other people's memories stuck in a super bot, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
And which I appreciate, because regardless if you're religious or not, like there is because religion is one of the few components that deals with the part of the soul, right? The other one would be, and it's not a religious thing, it's art in and of itself, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason why we can immediately catch a AI art, quote unquote, because we feel the soullessness from the piece. We go like, oh, yep, that's not, somebody didn't put an effort into that one. That was right. That was just like, there's no human imprint, if you will, on it. Mm-hmm. There's no human spirit in it. And the other one would be love. So those things are interesting, because if the show is going that route, the question is like, can a machine love? Because that's the question with the brother.
Yes.
Right? Can a machine love? Can a machine care? All that stuff. The great questions. But at the same time, they're stating very clearly that this is not, there was no soul transplant, but we're asking the actual question of, can AI, which is a broader question that we are asking as a society right now, can AI be sentient in the way that we're sentient?
Right.
In the way that we're soulful, if you will. Religious ponderings aside, it's more of a philosophical question. It's a great question.
Yeah. And
that one is handled, I think, better than some of the other philosophical questions in this show, because sometimes it gets a little bit drawn out. This episode is called Observation, and boy, did we do a lot of observing.
A lot of observing. That's very true.
Do you think this episode ran a little bit too slow?
At times, yes. I feel like it tried to. It was weird, because it tried to grab you, which is great. I mean, when we got a chance to see the alien eyeball with the goat, like, that's grabbing you. But then it slows. Then it kind of slows down, because I guess just like it is called observation, we as the audience have to observe the remaining amount of what's actually happening that maybe we didn't see in the previous episodes, or we're leading on to what can come next. But I will say this has been, it felt long, like as an episode, I would say this episode felt the longest, and
it's average.
And it's an average, like 53 minute, like normal fucking episode time. But there was a point where, while I was watching it, that I paused it to see how much longer I had left, because I was like, damn, I'm really like, how long was this shit? And I'm like, oh shit, I got like fucking 25 minutes to go, which means I'm only 15, 20 minutes in, thinking, damn, this is long. And it's probably because we didn't get enough Timothy Olyphant, because anytime he's on, when he's on there, I'm in and I'm going with it. But there are some characters, and I said this from the beginning, that like the fucking Shazam family, like, I don't really care about most of them, so when I get more of them, I'm just like, I'm moving on. Like when we get Nibs and like her little pregnancy thing, and I see that's going somewhere,
insane.
but I don't care.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was reading something. They were mentioning that that's what happens with children. You know, that's why with the dolls and stuff, and they that's my baby and all this stuff. Sure, whatever, but her scene mattered in a sense because you gave a child, let's put it that way, or the mind of a child, pretty much superpowers.
Yes.
And children have tantrums. And that moment when she's the lady is trying to talk to her and she snaps and jumps on her, she could have literally manhandled her, right? Snapped her neck and just snapped her neck in a fucking heartbeat. And it was at that moment when actually they're discussing it when they're like, maybe this wasn't a good idea. Maybe putting it in the mind, utilizing children was probably a bad idea. But in the long run, if you would have used somebody older, they would have known what they're doing and they would have been like, I'm going to use this to my fucking advantage. These kids don't realize what they can do yet. She now knows a little bit what she can do. And it's going to get rough.
Oh yeah. And it's like, you see it. So you're seeing it with all of them. Like this is the one thing that all of them are noticing is they're noticing the cage they're in. Right.
Yes.
You can see that they're in a prison-like place and they're realizing it. Slightly wants to escape, yes, for his family, but you realize that with all the stress and everything like that, he does miss his family.
Yes.
And he misses the family immensely because once he hears his mom's voice, like that's the one piece of acting that he did well. I didn't like how he acted, except when he heard his mom's voice. Like it was just like, oh my god, like because he almost
Childlike.
like jumped to hug her.
Yes,
very childlike, very nice. You see the Nibs. That's the one with the red hair, right?
Yeah, with the curly red hair. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's thinking like she needs to escape, like she wants to escape the prison that she's in, and she created a fake child in herself, which, okay, sure, fine. Then you see, I forget his name, but who also now is going to be called Isaac,
yes,
and after Isaac Newton. So I'm going to call him Isaac from now on, because it's just easier to remember. And now Isaac, he's breaking free from the name that he was placed, and I liked from that scene, like one of the things that I liked was not. Yes, it was fine that I'm not going to be named that. This corporation gave me this name. Like, I want to choose my name because it's what fits me. And then you see Timothy Olyphant smiling and going, good for you, buddy.
Yeah.
And he actually liked that. And I wonder if, in a way, he's realizing that the children are realizing their potential, not as hybrids, but as machines.
Mm.
And I think that might be an interesting thing that might be playing into other aspects. Like, I don't know if we're going to be getting a rise of the machines or anything like that, or iRobot sort of scenario.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't see that, but I do see maybe a little bit of a mini robot rebellion happening.
Yes.
in Neverland.
Yes, I feel that they're setting this up really well with human versus robot.
Yes.
Utilizing these creatures that they now, I mean, in the long run, they mention it. Well, the fucking whatever, Peter Pan, I always forget the fucking dude's name, but
Boy Cavalier.
Yeah. The Boy Cavalier mentions with that whole Weyland-Yutani thing, and he's like, why? So that I can have a xenomorph in my stomach, like all that type of shit. Pretty much saying that Weyland-Yutani is utilizing this for like guerrilla warfare. He's using it to attack. Not realizing, as you mentioned, genius, but common sense might not be there. Bro, you have 5 different creatures currently in your land, Neverland. Shit's gonna go down. How do you know? That's the mothership. The mother landed where your shit's at. This is an attack. You just don't know it's an attack yet because shit's gonna get real. And I feel that that the humans are fucked. And this is where Timothy Olyphant's going to come in, and he's going to be the charge. He's going to be the lead. And I'm very excited to see what's going to happen to, this fucking Peter Pan, fucking genius, boy genius fucking character. Because at first I'm thinking like, oh man, I see Timothy Olyphant utilizing one of the fucking face huggers on the guy. Now I'm looking at it like I think it's going to be actually the eyeball alien guy. I think he's getting him because the way that fucking goat was staring at him.
Yes.
And it was awesome how like the way the eye set up really well. Has the multiple eyes, and then when it goes into the goat and then it turns into one full eye. And what's really interesting is that the first thing it did was it stood on its 2 feet.
Yeah.
And then realized that people were watching and went to 4.
Yeah.
So the instinct had to kick in. Again, Timothy Olyphant said it right off the bat. This is a very intelligent creature. But how it like had to adjust, and it did it with Timothy Olyphant. It had to adjust like the way it was looking. It head tilt, it like kind of moved a little bit. And then dipshit takes that ball and throws it at the fucking glass. And it turns around, and this the way it's a fucking goat, okay? We're talking about CGI goat here. And this fucking thing turns around, and the way it stares at him, where it's like, I'd like to see what's in that brain. This is interesting. And then you notice the other eye. So the real eye of the goat just kind of twitches for a second.
Yeah.
Almost like it winks at him. Very intriguing. And it made me very excited because now I'm telling you, dude, this kid's going to get it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
He's getting it.
But here's the part that upsets me.
Okay.
So I like that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I like it. I like these aliens, these new aliens, right? But the fact that we're getting a xenomorph chest burster and we're going, oh, look at the little baby at the end instead of getting afraid as that fucking goat. I have issues with a show called Alien Earth, and the scariest thing in your episode was a goat with an eyeball that's not a xenomorph.
No.
And when the xenomorph shows up as a chest burster in one of the most iconic scenes of all time, which, to be fair, when it bursts out of that lung and breaks the glass, phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
But then it decides to become a snake, and then she just starts cooing it.
And she does, she does the
As you're going like, what is going on here? And that's basically how the episode ends.
Yeah.
And I just, again, the show has the best soundtrack.
Yes.
Right now I'm blanking on the name of, was it the Pixies who they ended on, or was it, what song did they end
Let's
on?
see.
Was it the Pixies?
Ending. It was, hold on, let's find out. Actually, funny enough, there's a lot of people asking about this. It's a cover of Cream Q's Strange. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's a cover of Cream's Strange Brew.
Ah, there we go.
So, yeah, it is Strange Brew. That is the one that they did.
So, I hadn't heard the song, but as I'm hearing it, I'm going like, this is a good song. And I really enjoyed it. Like, just, if anything, this show has one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a TV show in a long time. It's really good.
Oh, wait, hold on. I may have gotten this one. Hold on. I'm looking at, oh, okay, here we go. Okay, so that we're talking about the last song, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, the last song is Ocean Size by Jane's Addiction. There you go. Jane's Addiction.
There you go. I haven't heard, I know the band, but I haven't heard the song. So
yeah, Jane's Addiction.
I knew that I hadn't heard the song, but as I'm listening to it, I'm going like, hey, this is good. Like, I love when a show, I can listen to a song on a show and I go like, hey, I'm going to add this to my playlist from now on.
Yeah, Shazam this shit.
Yeah. speaking of Shazam, I'm just going to ask because we did talk a little bit about it, but I want to just close out with some thoughts on the Peter Pan analogy.
Yeah.
Do you think we've hit the peak of Peter Pan and we should just cut it off? Like I know they're not going to cut it off because they've already recorded and done everything. But do you think that they've overstayed their welcome with that Peter Pan analogy?
Yeah, I feel that we may have overstayed a little too much. I feel the only thing we're missing is the boo box. That's the only thing we're truly missing here. And we don't have Rufio. We don't have Rufio yet either. But yeah, like even the moment where he mentions it's like you killed the crocodile and you can hear the ticking. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, which is honestly a reference to Hook.
Yeah.
With that, the way that Captain Hook. Now, keep in mind, in the original Peter Pan, the crocodile is still alive.
Yeah.
But in Hook, it's dead. Well, at least he thought it was dead, and he hears the ticking. So when he mentions that, like, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Now, I've never read the book before, and I do actually kind of think it's interesting that he reads the book to them.
Yeah.
When they go to sleep. Actually, at first when he was doing it, I was like, is he doing an audiobook? This fucking guy's so fucking full of himself that he does his own audiobook on Peter Pan. But he mentions how you killed the crocodile and you can hear the ticking. And that was a reference to Hook because that's what happens in Hook.
Funny enough,
really
as you're mentioning that, because I want to make a parallel there.
Yeah.
He is technically Peter Pan, but what happens in Hook too?
Well, what Peter Pan?
Peter becomes a what?
An adult.
To quote Maggie Smith. Maggie Smith, what does he say? Peter, so you've become a pirate.
Yes, you become a pirate. That's right. She does. That's right.
So
Peter Pan, you become a pirate.
So, Boy Cavalier is talking about being a boy, but he's acting like a pirate. He's acting like a pirate, and he's going to get his comeuppance as a pirate if he doesn't change his ways. And he's not going to change his ways, so he's going to get his comeuppance.
No, he's absolutely not.
But I think, the metaphors are going, honestly,
it's stretching.
It's stretching too much. It's like you see the xenomorph. Okay, it's the crocodile. I already figured it out.
You did say that.
It's fun when I do it.
Yeah.
It's fun when I do it. It's fine when you read the book Peter Pan and leave it to the imagination of the kids can be named Slightly and Wendy, and people can get he's reading it to them, so they're getting their names from there. But then you can add the extra layers of the Captain Hook, like I mentioned, the Murrow's Captain Hook.
Yes.
But also kind of Boy Cavalier could also be kind of Captain Hook.
He could.
And then you have the one, I forget the name of the hybrid who's our Tinkerbell that I mentioned in the previous one. The one.
Oh yeah, I forgot her name too. She's not Toodles. Is she Toodles? I don't think she was. I don't think she was. I think Toodles was Isaac.
Yeah. But the point is, right? It's we see her being like a Tinkerbell, but then we also see Timothy Olyphant be kind of like a Tinkerbell too. Blonde. Angry at Peter Pan all the time. These connections are fun to make, but when you're making them as a show, two things are happening. Either you think the audience is dumb, or you're so high on yourself on your clever metaphor that you're just basically rubbing it in our face.
Sure.
And as we all know, nobody likes it to be rubbed in their face.
No.
It's never good.
No.
So, overall, Tom, what are your thoughts overall for the episode? How are you feeling so far, buddy? Over this series.
I'm on here's the thing. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying watching the show. I'm enjoying to the sense of where I'm excited to see what the next episode will bring. The show is shot beautifully.
Yes.
I cannot deny how beautiful it's shot. I'm loving the beginning of these episodes. They usually give you that recap while it's showing the Alien Earth, the title. But then this one had that moment where it showed that doll's head in the water on the beach. Very interesting. Does not play a factor in this episode though. but maybe it will, just like kind of how Breaking Bad did with the bear. That was for like multiple episodes, and you were like, where is this going? And then eventually it gets there, and you're like, oh, that's where it went. So I think that what they're doing here could end up in two ways. It could end up with a fucking slam dunk, and it's going to end this series, or why wouldn't maybe they're going to go for season 2. At least let's say the season 1. It's going to slam dunk it. We're going to be like, God damn, that was great. I can't wait for the second one. Or it's going to go the route that we unfortunately kind of predicted, hoped that it wouldn't go, and then we're going to be like, man, you had something here. You had something, and you Peter Panned it, and you fucking you resurrected Peter Pan, and you pushed it too hard, and you didn't give enough Timothy Olyphant. Because if you don't give enough Timothy Olyphant, you automatically lose in my book. I do believe that when shit goes down, it's going to go down, and I feel the last 2 episodes are probably going to be unbelievable. When
it's
shit,
be a gore fest.
I can. We will be pressing the glorious gore button for that, because there's going to be some shit's getting down. Like we haven't even seen that plant alien again. So that thing's waiting. It's going to come. We're going to see those bugs again. Remember, there's 5 of them. There's a total of 5. And technically, there is if I'm not mistaken, if we do the math, there is a total of 5 actual humans, at least what we're seeing on screen on that island. So is everybody going to get it? I don't know. Do I think Joe's going to be able to survive? Maybe. Maybe he kind of dies at the end. We don't know. I like his character. I'm for him. I like that he's kind of the question guy. He's like the audience was asking all these questions, not always getting an answer, but now he's owned by this company. With that lung in him, it's pretty simple too. They could just be like, we'll just take it out and you'll just fucking die, and then we're good from here. So I need a little more Timothy Olyphant. Need a little bit more of that. I feel that Morrow is going to get his too. Even though I like his character, I do believe if anybody's getting the chest burster, I think it's him. I think Timothy Olyphant's. I think it's a setup. I think it's going to end up being a setup because remember, he's listening. Like you said, he is listening. So eventually Morrow's going to have to come here. We know that Timothy Olyphant's listening, so he's going to want to bring him here. And as we know, he is technically still human. He's a human. So technically he could get face hugged. And I do feel if anybody's getting that fucking face hugger and a chest burster, Morrow's getting that. And Boy Cavalier's getting a fucking alien in his eye. That's what I think.
Before I do my own last opinion, and then we sign off.
Yeah.
Last piece of like maybe a theory. I'm not saying this is happening, but if Murrow gets a chest burster, and we know that these xenomorphs take the characteristics of their audience, of their host. Do you think we're gonna get a cyborg
xenomorph? Yeah, listen. There's a few things in life that I would be not for. All right, there's a few things that you would tell me in my movies that I would say I am not for this. If you're telling me there's a chance we might get a cyborg xenomorph, all fucking down for that. Let me see what you got. A cyborg. It's like a fucking Terminator xenomorph.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Give me 2 of them. I would be totally. I'd be okay with that.
And the tail turns into like an axe or things.
Oh
like
my
that,
god!
Shoots darts like
listen,
that.
if that fucking show wants to go, if that show wants to get batshit crazy like that, listen, let's go for it. We already had a Predator xenomorph. Let's fucking go for it. Have some fun. If you're gonna have fun, that's the way to have fun. All for it. Give me more.
So I'm going to give my final thoughts, and then we'll do a little closing round for everybody. Yeah, I agree with everything Tommy said. I'm honestly not going to add too much on it. I'm not. Am I hating the show? No. Am I loving the show? No. I am on the verge of either liking it or disliking it, but I'm still undecided because I need to know where the show is going. But I'm not totally opposed on of all the ideas that are showing up on the show. I think, and this is going to be a repeat throughout this week. If you listen to our Dracula Law episode, which should be coming out pretty soon, um, genre bending is difficult, and sometimes it's better to just stick with one if you don't know how to do it, because blending them and bending them, if you can't master one, you're going to show it's going to show, because if you're great at horror but you're not great at the philosophy part, when you're doing horror philosophy like some of the parts here, then you're going to end up with a boring movie that is spliced in with an interesting suspenseful movie, which is the problem. Because I think, as based on what I've seen, this guy Noah, what's his name again? Noah Hawley does horror well. I'll tell you why. The suspense and the creep factor in a bunch of the episodes is spot on, but he is blending so much of the super sci-fi and the philosophical brouhaha, and sometimes he'll do some of the action. The action's great,
Yeah.
but the philosophy stuff is not great, if I'm being really honest. Too on the nose, and I think that you see that unevenness because he does some things great, some things okay, and that is hurting the product at the end. So I really think that I'm on the fence on the show. And like I said, I'm gonna, unless they do the unthinkable and they turn this into again, Alien Resurrection route.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll hate it. But so far,
Sure.
I'm either going to dislike it or I'm going to like it. But I'm still on the fence on it.
Which is actually good too, because I mean, let's see. Hold on. Let's look one more time. We're on episode 4 right now. There is a total of 8. We are halfway there.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're getting somewhere.
And it's good because I already have made up my opinion, if you will. And you kind of also, on, are we lovers or haters of the show? Not lovers or haters. We like enough that we go like, no, I can't say that I hate it or love it.
Yes,
but
I need more.
But we need more.
Need more
to figure it out. Having said that, let's sign off. Let's start with your favorite movie therapist, Mr. Oso Smooth.
All right, thank you, Big Money. And as we just said, I don't love the show, but I don't hate the show. I need more. And I like that it's giving me that feeling to where I'm not trying to give up on the show, because they could easily make a turn where I'm like, well, we'll do it for the people listening, but otherwise I have zero interest in what's going on here. But no, I want to see what comes next. I'm actually pretty pumped up for Tuesday when the next episode comes out. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, the next episode that will be dropping, I actually just had it up here with the name of it. It is called In Space, No One ... Now, if you remember in the first episode, I did say I believe this is where we see what happens with Morrow on the ship. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, I'd be down for it because I really want to see some shit. Let me see some good shit. But again, I'm excited to take this ride. We're almost done. We're halfway there. There's so much more. There's so many questions to answer, and now I really want to see a cyborg xenomorph. I'm really invested in this right now. I hope they do it. My name is Tommy James, aka Mr. Oso Smooth, aka the Smooth Effect himself movie guy, baby. Your favorite movie therapist. Please enroll at Night School Horror. Like, follow, subscribe. Give us a big old grand review if you like episodes like this. Keep in mind, we're going to keep them flowing. As Big Money mentioned, Dracula will be coming out this week. So if you like some crazy movies, you're going to want to check that out. And don't forget, when Welcome to Derry drops, you're going to have Big Money Eddie and Florida's favorite creep, Sabrina, is going to be jumping on that one to discuss. And I'm looking to actually do Monster, the Ed Gein story. And maybe we can get somebody that loves himself some glorious gore to finally show back up on an episode and discuss that one. But I will see you guys next week to discuss episode 5 of Alien Earth. Oh, and on Friday, I'm going to see The Conjuring, The Last Rites in IMAX. So, yep. That's not going to be good. But all right, peace.
And this is Big Money Eddie, ladies and gentlemen, the cigarette smoking man himself, the Grand Wizard of Horror. Make sure you, as Tommy said, like and subscribe. Pay attention to all the content that we're throwing, because we're throwing all the contents. We're throwing all the contents at you because we love horror, and I hope you do too, because this is only getting better.